Hello from the other, we're in the same city, we're just recording virtually today.
Hello from the other suburb. The other
Hello
suburb in the city.
3 suburbs away. How you doing, Elle?
I'm good. I am frustrated with things from the Monaco Grand Prix. I'm getting bashed online for my frustrations. I am glad Monaco is over and I'm looking forward to the future. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. I mean, we were just saying, I feel like Monaco Grand Prix weekend, look, I think it exceeded some expectations because I think you never really expect too much from Monaco. But I am very tired because obviously it ended up being a much later race than what it was, and it just completely threw me off. But at the same time, I feel good about it. Like, I feel like at the beginning of the race, I thought, oh gosh, this is boring and a typical Monaco, boring, not a great race. And then it got really, really exciting.
Have you watched it
yet? Have you watched the race?
You know what? I've been so
you fell asleep.
I fell asleep. I've watched a lot of highlights. I know what's going on, but I think like for me, what was exhausting was like keeping up with the bloody social Olympics.
I thought you were going to say keeping up with the Kardashians.
Yeah, keeping up with the Kardashians. No, I was keeping up with the social Olympics because I think that's what to me is fascinating about Monaco was just like the fanfare and the interest around it, and
the people that show up.
There's a classic saying that real wealthy people don't rent boats for Monaco. They go away to watch the race. And it's just like watching everyone there. It would be the biggest dick measuring competition ever.
100%.
I mean, that's the third time 100%. In a row I've now turned down going to Monaco because purely it was like, cannot afford it. It's great. Yeah, cool. You'll have me there for like a day. Then what do I do the rest of the time? Like, I'm sure you work it out, but accommodation and flights, very expensive. But it would also be just the most anxiety inducing environment because of the overstimulation. I mean, we feel that here at the Australian Grand Prix. Yeah. Imagine that on that tenfold when you're competing with people that like can just drop $1,000 in a meal and not think about it. And, everyone's fighting to get on different yachts and stuff. I just think it would be exhausting. I'm exhausted from looking online. I feel like my crow's feet have just popped out all weekend because I've been like squinting at my camera, being like, what?
Yeah, I thought the same thing. Like, obviously, the beginning of the weekend and looking at the race coverage. I mean, obviously, Monaco looks so beautiful and it was fantastic weather, not a cloud in the sky.
Oh, they have perfect weather, perfect conditions.
Yeah, and I thought, gosh, it would be so exciting to be there. And as the weekend went on and, you're watching practice sessions and quali, and I just thought by the race, I was literally thinking the same thing. I was like, I actually couldn't think of anything worse than being there because it just seems like, exactly, it's like you're fighting. It just seems like, I don't want to say one of the worst races to go to because I think the beauty of Monaco is that obviously it's Monaco, there's so much history and it's like a gorgeous place. But exactly what you're saying. It's like if I wouldn't want to go unless I was in a position where I could pay and feel comfortable. And that whole feeling of like, so many different things going on. It's like, unless if I were working there, I just have no desire to be there.
No, because I'm the same.
Yeah. And I really thought about it. And I just thought every time they would pan to different yachts or different things and so many tacky people, I was like, It's
fun to watch. It is so fun to watch.
I think there would be specific. I think there would be specific parts of the circuit that would be good to watch, and then there would be a lot of parts where you'd go, I can see nothing, or I can see one little thing.
See what I meant when I said it's fun to watch. It's fun to watch people watch.
People watch,
online. It's not even about the race. Like for me, the race, I'm like at Monaco. I'm not actually really that interested in the race at Monaco. I think I'm just so like past it. It's like the cars do not suit the track. It's a hard one to watch. It's typically one from pole. It all happens in quali, and once that's done, it's done. But I think the people watching is just so fantastic at Monaco. But it is exhausting keeping up with what is going on. You're like, wait, this person's on this yacht. And then all of a sudden people you follow are together and you're like, and then you see them in the background of videos and then you're like, what is happening? Like,
a lot.
It's a lot. It's a lot to keep up with. And I know way too much about some people's lives and I probably need to.
Oh, that's great. But no, I mean, interesting because obviously the cars, I was excited to see what was going to happen this weekend because obviously there was a lot of changes within the cars that that did make it more interesting. And this is the first time when we had spoken about this, where the chassis is a lot smaller this year. So what was that going to do to Monaco? And we did see some overtaking, like granted more overtaking than what we have seen. I think the first 50 something laps were just pretty boring, stock standard, apart from Max Verstappen having an engine failure on the first lap and then him not being able to complete the race. And I thought, oh, Max, oh dear. Sorry to hear. Which I thought that he could maybe put up a fight and do well, but no. But then so much happened. But obviously, lap 65, Charles Leclerc crashing was just heartbreaking.
Everyone that is a Tifosi fan, just their heart broke and they cried and they, but literally, come on, he was never going to win.
Look, well, I mean, look, he couldn't. No, but I thought maybe something will happen because things happen. Because do you remember? I can't remember if it was 2024 he won the year prior where he had pole position and then he crashed on the last lap. So I was like, anything is possible. And actually, as I was watching, I think literally it was around lap 50 and I was sitting there going, gosh, this is not very entertaining. And I just was thinking something's coming. I know something's coming because I think that's what typically happens with Monaco is it's a pretty stock standard race and then something happens at the end. Something always happens at the end that provides a little bit of spice just to be like, oh, no. We're still fun. Monaco's like the Monaco gods. We're still fun. Curse on Charles and we're still fun. So obviously there was an issue with the tarmac. There was something, I think it was corner 19 or something.
I think the term that they used was that the track is breaking.
The track is breaking.
I was like,
yeah.
The track is breaking?
The track is breaking.
Excuse me? Can we clarify that?
The track was certainly breaking. So first it was Stroll that crashed. And I can't remember what lap he crashed, but then Charles crashed in the exact same spot. So I think it was lap 55 that Stroll crashed. And then lap 65 I think it was Charles crashed.
Yeah, 62 or something like that when,
same spot.
Yeah, and they both said it was their cars though.
But did you see so obviously the red flag went for so long. I'm so tired. I'm so tired watching this. And all you're seeing is just these men standing at the ground, looking like what? When they're just looking, but you're not actually doing anything. You're just looking at the ground and nothing's happening.
Story of a man, right?
Literally. And I'm like, aren't there machines that can do something or figure something out?
Yeah.
But something that I thought was interesting as well was the fact that I kept seeing time penalty. And I was like, what is going on? And so basically there was a bunch of drivers that got penalties exiting the pit lane.
Mm-hmm.
1, 2, you're like, oh, okay, 2. And then 3. And then it got to the point where they started saying on the commentary, is there something wrong with the sensor? Because once...
It was a lot.
I think by that point there was 5 people that had one. And I'm just like, what's going on here? So obviously there's all these drivers that have penalties. And then we had the yellow, I think it was a yellow flag for Stroll, and then obviously it was a red flag for Charles. And then a bunch of drivers ended up serving their penalties strategically in that time where there was the red flag. So that was, I think, worked very much in their favour. And so George Russell was one of those people. George Russell had a penalty and then didn't serve it during the red flag, which was very strange. I don't understand why Mercedes made that.
Does that mean he's serving it?
Well, he just lost
Barcelona?
Places. No, he lost places at the end of the race.
Oh. I've been seeing comparisons that George Russell's turning into the Valtteri Bottas when Lewis Hamilton was winning, and I was like, yeah, I can totally say that. But just to clarify as well, if anyone was wondering, there was this, it wasn't a sensor issue that was happening in the pit lanes. It was how they track it on their GPS. was showcasing a different speed or something like that, but they were technically speeding. It's a very like tricky engineering thing. You can Google it. I don't quite understand it, but essentially because, you know, Pierre Gasly was third, and bless his heart, watching him celebrate when he thought he came third and his team didn't tell him, which
it was awful.
Just like tell him to put his bloody hand down. They contested that because they were like he wasn't speeding. They were like he was, and it's all come under investigation and all that sort of stuff. I mean, amazing for Isaac, but also here's the question that I want to put out there.
Mm-hmm.
If you're everyone is getting these time penalties, and there's a lot of is it real? Is there something wrong with these time penalties? And you come third at the Monaco Grand Prix by a fault. Do you really feel good about that third?
No, and the thing is, I don't. Third? No, well, and this is the thing. I don't even think Isaac Hadjar was excited. Like watching the podium, he wasn't celebrating. He kind of did like a bit of a champagne like throw, and then he just stood there because I knew that he felt. Because the problem as well is that there was so many penalties that were being contested that it still wasn't certain that that final podium was going to be the final podium.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously we knew that Antonelli had won.
We still didn't even know after the podium though if that was going to be the final podium.
Exactly. So you kind of see him celebrating, but because Lewis got a penalty as well, but he'd served it during the red flag.
I'm so happy that Lewis came second, by the way.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, I had him as my number one, but then Kimi obviously got in quali, so I was like, well, that's done.
Literally. I was so happy. I was like, maybe the Kardashian curse.
It's been
non-existent.
It's obviously been broken, but I feel like even if we speak about her, we will be come for. I've already done it on the podcast page, and I think we leave it at that. Because I can't even deal talking about it anymore. I've had so many frustrating conversations.
Yeah, there was so much chatter about Kimi K. Yeah. Do you know what was hilarious though? I don't know if you missed this, but I was like, did Lewis Hamilton do a poo in the middle of the red flag? Because obviously red flag, a lot of the drivers kind of stay around the cars. Some of the drivers sometimes stay in the cars. Like it's sort of up to you what you do. And there was a video of Lewis Hamilton. Like I remember watching the coverage and thinking, what is happening? So there was the clock at the bottom of the screen saying like 3 minutes until the race start. And it was at like 2:40 something. And then you see Lewis like on his scooter skating super fast with his pink helmet on. And he's skating and you see he's like coming towards the camera. So imagine like, so what we're watching is the footage of the Sky Sports presenter. So camera, Lewis coming towards, and then you see Lewis gets closer and closer and then he goes and moves the camera and like scoots. And then you see like his trainer behind him running, chasing him. And I was like, Lewis was taking a shit.
Get on him. You gotta go.
To poo. And he almost missed the race start because he had to do a poo.
Do you reckon he had to poo? Do you reckon that's what it is?
100%. Or maybe he needed like a good luck.
Little good luck kiss. Or maybe he needed to wee.
Yeah, maybe he needed to wee. But don't they just wee in their suits anyway? I mean, I guess I would choose to wee in a toilet over weeing in my suit.
I don't know. I mean, if you've worn a wetsuit before.
Oh, yuck.
You kind of just go. Like, like when I was doing triathlons, that's what you just do. You just go in your wetsuit.
Oh, yuck.
It's just what you got to do.
A wetsuit is gross.
But
hey, Kimi Antonelli, 5 races in a row.
I tend to think that this season might be over. Like, unless something miraculous happens, it just looks like Mercedes is quite strong. They've got that domination. I can see them having at least the team championship here.
Yeah.
Which I think is fantastic options. Spread it around, spread the love. Each team gets a different year. Yeah. Paul Lando and Oscar, like after the success that they had last year with McLaren Formula One team, and now this.
Yeah. I mean, I think more Paul Oscar than Paul Lando.
Well, no, Lando's not having a great season run. I mean, he also retired from the
Yeah, but at
Monaco
least he
Grand
won
Prix.
last year.
Yeah, and he's the reigning champion. So they're all having a bit of a shit time at the moment. But the domination coming from Mercedes is just, it's out of this world.
Yeah.
But I think now that we're into a little bit of a run with the races coming up now, we're going to have a little bit more consistency until we have that official summer break. I think it's going to be really interesting to see how these cars actually develop, because we still haven't really seen them work back to back. They have can have shit done to them pretty much in between races, and there's been so many breaks that it's just going to be interesting to see what happens. And I think this will be the telltale sign of what happens for the rest of the season.
You know, it was really interesting because I heard on I think it was on the coverage or something at the end of the race, and they were saying how with the points difference between Kimi and George, so Kimi, even if he DNF the next two races, I believe he would still be ahead of George by 14 points, which is crazy. Like, and to think that, you know, I've said this before and I'll say it again. I know that you don't really like George, but I do feel for him because I think that he is a fantastic driver and I feel for him. I think like everyone that's come from his generation, of all the drivers of his generation, his age, a lot of them, I mean, the fact that Lando won last year, the fact that Max has won, I think he probably thought, surely it's me. I'm next. Surely this is my year.
Well, he's definitely 100% waiting for his year, and his George's year is not coming. I think we are past George. I think George has had his time.
And I mean, of course, Charles wants to have his World Drivers' Championship.
I think Charles is more likely to have a World Championship before George is.
Yeah, I think so too. As long as like Ferrari keep their shit together.
Which, who knows what the fuck they're doing.
Literally.
I mean, I'd like to see their cash flow at the moment with the loss of their share prices.
Oh gosh,
at the moment. But
I mean, thankfully, I think that they're not obviously like the F1 pool.
It's a different, it's a different budget.
Completely different budget, completely different allocation. But you know what though? Like the Ferraris did perform. Like the fact that Lewis was second, and it was interesting as well when Charles crashed and he was like, "These brakes, I can't deal with these brakes," and he did say that a lot over the weekend. And but again, the same thing with what you said about like if someone wins and there's system issue, which that's what I thought was when I saw the ground breaking. I thought, gosh, that's so frustrating, the fact that he could have come second, maybe even first, and something out of his control. Even though he said it was the brakes, I was like, was it the brakes or was it the ground? Because the fact that the same thing happened to Lance Stroll.
So I reckon it was their cars. I don't think it was the actual ground.
But it was broken. The ground was broken.
Was it actually?
Yeah, it was. Like you could see there was like, because there was parts of the track that had been resurfaced. And so it was like crumbling up, like parts of the track was crumbling up.
Oh, I missed that part.
Which, if something like that happens, do you then, for example, as an F1 team, like can you contest something? Like not contest, but can you almost ask for compensation or something?
What, because of the track? Well, yeah, you would think,
because it's like they would have missed out.
Yeah,
on
you
points.
Would think that. Yeah. Good point.
Yeah.
Now my brain's buzzing.
But the way we're sitting at the moment, so Antonelli's on 125 points, and then Hamilton and Russell are tied at 82 points, which is crazy. And then Hadjar 65. Like that's wild. The fact that Russell and Hamilton are tied. Like who would have thought we were talking shit about Hamilton last year?
I know, right? It's kind of whack when you think about that all in one.
Crazy.
I think it's really fascinating, like the whole like, and loving watching Max and Lewis' support of Kimi, whilst they're also still doing, like, well, particularly Lewis is doing well at the moment. I think that's like a really beautiful relationship and mentorship of, you know, the leaders showing the new ones the way forward, especially the ones that are doing well. You know, I still stand by Max had a really funny thing to do when he retired. He's like, my home's 500 meters away. Like, they should have just taken photos of him walking into his house. That would have been hilarious, but no, they didn't do that.
It was like Carlos's commute.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
No.
He was like, I can't remember where I saw it on socials, but it was like Carlos's commute to Monaco GP, and it's like his bike ride to like his home to the entrance of the circuit, and he wasn't wearing a helmet. And then like the bike company was like, wear a helmet, you're too valuable. I was actually going to comment something like, oh my God, put a helmet on. Especially
that's
like
hilarious.
Yeah, like you are worth a lot of money right now. But yeah, he just rode his bike to roll on in.
No, I missed that. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. At least like if you're someone like George, you can just be like, had a shit race, I'm going home. But then you'd hear all the parties around you, which would just be not fun.
Well, they all are. I mean, Monaco is 2 square kilometers, so
yeah,
they just would all be at the parties anyway. That's like the teeny tiny.
I was going to say honourable mention for Visa Cash App. P5 and P6.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that's huge. I think it's Liam's best finish. And obviously Arvid Lindblad's best finish. Yeah.
Well, especially after that Liam nearly started in the pits. I mean, he was scared that he wasn't even going to be starting at one point. Mm-hmm. But also we did have so many car retirees. So, yeah.
I know. And obviously like that's something we have to think about, but still, like, I think it's still exciting. I'm happy for them. It was great seeing on their socials at the end that they jumped into the water and they're like floating. P5, P6.
I did see that shot. I love that shot.
P5, P6. I will say though, Antonelli needs to practice diving because he just like jumped in the water like, ooh.
He's like, a kid.
Do better.
He's
Look at Charles Wynn, how he dove in and
Daniel Ricciardo. Daniel Ricciardo is always going to have the best Monaco dive in history of Monaco dives and wins.
Gosh, actually, I had a dream that Daniel Ricciardo was driving. Forgot I had that.
Really?
Yeah, I had a dream that he was driving Monaco. God, that's hilarious. One can hope. One can hope. But hey, Barcelona coming up this weekend.
Barcelona.
It's interesting because obviously Monaco is typically won from pole, but so is Barcelona. I think like the percentage of pole wins from Barcelona is even higher than Monaco.
Yeah.
So
who are you thinking? I mean, I just want Lewis to win, so I'm going to keep saying Lewis.
Yeah, I actually think Lewis will podium. I think he's on a good momentum. I think if Kimi wins, it's done. Like, I think that the season's done. But there is also a part that maybe the pressure gets to him.
Do we think that if Kimi wins the next 2 races, I think we all stand by that unless something happens. It's going to be a very like close season of just being Kimi and Mercedes. F1 is already experiencing a retention problem at the moment. Will they that go even further if there's just one person winning?
What do you mean will they go further?
As in like, will they still struggle with their retention problem? Will people keep dropping off? Because I feel like there's a lot of people that are just really having a hard time being interested in the sport at the moment.
Yeah, but I mean, I think if a duo comes into play, a duo comes into play, and there are teams that are able to get more money put into them, and then hopefully, I mean, that's going to be more, it's going to be more visible in next season rather than this season. I do somewhat agree with what you're saying. At the same time, I think that there is obviously a lot of excitement around Kimi because typically Kimi is a very likable person. I think if George were constantly winning, I think maybe that would happen sooner because I think there are a lot more people that dislike George than they dislike Kimi. I think that's always something that can affect retention. when someone is continuously winning. At the same time, I mean, Max Verstappen won every single race bar one a couple of years ago, and we still watched the entire season. And it sort of got to the point where it was like, okay, well, we're not really watching the front of the grid where, remember, we used to count from 2, 3, 4, and that was our podium. And I think that it can definitely be an issue, but also it's incredibly exciting seeing what Kimi is doing. I mean, he is his post-rookie year, and he is dominating and breaking records. And if he continues to break records, I mean, again, this is what we saw with Max. Like, it's pretty special to witness. And the beauty about Kimi as well is he's still very, young and naive and humble. Like, he's not an asshole about things. So we just have to enjoy it before he turns into a prick.
I just can't see him doing that. I can't see him. No, I just don't think that's him. Yeah. I mean, I'd love to see it come back from McLaren in the next couple of races. I think we're all waiting for McLaren to come back. And if they can come back in Barcelona and really bring out that team and driver champion that they have been showing us the last couple of years, I think we'll be in for a really exciting race in Barcelona.
Well, I actually was going to say that McLaren typically does do well. They were 1-2 last year. So they do, typically Barcelona does favour the McLaren. So I actually could foresee a McLaren on the podium, maybe Lando, as long as their car doesn't shit itself and whether we don't have any electrical failures. But yeah, I think the other part is seeing the rivalry that is unfolding and will unfold between Kimi and George is going to keep people entertained. And if you remember Canada GP before George DNF'd, that battle between Kimi and George was epic. Like, the amount of times that they overtook each other, that was phenomenal racing. And I think it's been a long time since we've seen that, especially because I think last year with McLaren, because McLaren was so, they were just such pussies about it. And like, no, you give up your position. No, you do this. No, like treating them like little babies. Whilst I don't think Toto Wolff is going to be like that at all. He's just very much like, race, don't fuck up the cars.
Yeah.
And if we get to see that battle throughout the season, it'll keep things entertaining. And I'm sure that if that battle does happen, then someone is eventually going to knock someone out at some point, and as in cause a DNF.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited for Barcelona. I'm just happy that we actually have, I think it's like 5 races in 7 weeks. So we get to enjoy a lot.
I know, F1 content non-stop.
Yes, so I'm very excited about that. And yeah, not a lot of sleep. Break?
It's after.
I think it's after Silverstone.
Yeah.
After Silverstone, and then there's Austria. I think it's after Austria.
I'm so confused. I can't keep up with my dates at the moment. Yeah.
So Austria is after Silverstone.
Amazing.
Yeah. Anyway, what's your green flag and red flag?
Green flag and red flag of the week is... I actually can't think. I've been so ingrained in my laptop. Oh, I know what it is. Green flag principal had a pop-up at the Monaco Grand Prix, which is very exciting and very cool. We had a lot of really great feedback. So that was exciting. And now just prepping for our next collection launch, which is this week, because
crazy
planning was not at the forefront of our minds.
Did you guys sell a lot?
Launching 3. Yes, we did, which is really good. Unfortunately, one of our new collection didn't arrive in time, but that's okay because it's happening for the Silverstone Grand Prix. But I also have to get that up online, so we shot that all in New York and a little bit in LA. So we're just trying to work that out at the moment. What about you?
Green flag. I mean, obviously, Gabriel my little boy turned 2 over the weekend. We had his party, and we just had a really nice day. Just a really nice weekend, just celebrating him. It's very emotional. Like, I think it's just so many feels of the fact, like, we were looking back at photos and just thinking how quick time goes and how precious time is. And then also looking back at, I was like, oh my gosh, like I couldn't sleep that night on the Sunday. after the race. And then I was like, oh my God, 2 years ago, I was in labor. Like, this is all so emotional and crazy. And yeah, we just had like a really beautiful weekend celebrating my little man and time with the family. And I don't really have a red flag because I just feel grateful.
Yeah.
I just felt very grateful.
No red flag week is good.
Yeah, no red flag week. I mean, I'm tired, but whatever.
Yeah. Amazing. Well,
thanks for listening, guys.
We'll be back next week with Barcelona.
Well, thanks so much for listening, guys. We will be back in your ears next week. And enjoy Barcelona.
Just later. Bye.
Bye.